Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Teacher Tip Tuesday. I'm Stephanie with Archangel Education and Technology, and this week we are getting ready to celebrate World Art Day. That's right, on April 15th, this Saturday, we will celebrate World Art Day, which also happens to be the great Leonardo da Vinci's birthday. So I wanted to give you a couple of ideas of things that you can do to celebrate World Art Day this week in your classroom. Let's start off with dance. How can we celebrate World Art Day using dance? Well, I put a couple of ideas here for you, and know that you're not limited to these, obviously. You can venture out and do things that you want to do in your own classroom. It's always fun to work in groups to choreograph a piece of music. You can have students put together a music video. You can also have them create a dance as a form of prayer. You can attend a local musical theater production. You can also support your students in any theater productions that they may be doing. I was a theater kid myself and always appreciated when my teachers went out of their way to come and support me. Also, it's fun. I put an idea right over here. To create a word cloud using yourself as the silhouette. I've included a link to a planning sheet that would be fun to use. You can use an outline like this that is already on the internet. You can also create an image of yourself doing a dance pose in front of a green screen. You can use remove.bg, which we've talked about before, to remove the background and create this silhouette. And then you can put a word cloud describing yourself as a dancer inside of the image. There are a lot of tutorials on how to do that. I also can help if you reach out to me. Um, let's jump over to visual arts. There's so many ideas for visual arts. It's really hard to narrow it down. And so some things that I wanted to give you an idea for are not just, the classic ones like symmetry and using Play-Doh to create a sculpture, but also using, symmetry you can use in your math program. You can also use the Play-Doh to create a sculpture. You can also use model clay or air dry clay to create a sculpture from a topic that you are talking about in social studies. Perhaps you are studying Easter Island and you want to create, images using Play-Doh of those big giant Easter Island heads. It's also really fun to include science in your art. Always fun. There's a lot of activities that you can do with bubbles, ideas that you can do to show physical changes and chemical changes as well. But I wanted to focus on the physical changes where you can use heat to melt crayons onto canvas or rocks. I don't know if you've ever seen some of those really beautiful images where they have a little silhouette of a child holding an umbrella and it's raining the rainbow of crayons down on top of them, which people use heat to melt those crayons. And it shows that the application of heat can change the appearance of a crayon without changing its chemical properties. Also, I always want to highlight origami. My son is very into origami, and it is a really neat way to include a form of art from another country into your units. Let's jump over to how we can celebrate World Art Day using technology. You always can use unplugged activities. There are lots and lots of unplugged activities that you can do, but Legos and Lincoln Logs are a great option for including building structures, architecture into your classroom to celebrate World Art Day. You can create a stop motion animation film from your favorite scene from a book. I had a student do this with The Key by Theodore Taylor, one of the best projects I've ever seen. And you can also create a web quest about art for students to complete. A constant favorite is taking virtual field trip to museum. I wanted to highlight that the National Museum of Natural History has an exquisite virtual field trip option for teachers to use in their classroom. We also here at Archangel Education and Technology have some really cool glasses that you can include into your classroom to take virtual field trips. You can also do research on famous artists such as Da Vinci or Frida Kahlo, Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali. There are a lot of famous artists, and you can have students create a presentation to show what was learned during those. And finally, the last one that I'm going to feature, but certainly not the last type of art there is to celebrate World Art Day, is celebrating with music. I have a son who is a flute player, and he speaks musical language, and so I want to make sure that we highlight those that are musically gifted. I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of really talented musicians in our students, and so we want to be able to make sure that we feature some ways that we can celebrate during World Art Day. If you have ever had students listen to a various piece of music, feature some of the musical language that they might hear, Allegro, 4K, things like that. Listen to the piece of music and see if they can pick out, um, you know, those words from the music that they're listening to. One of my favorite things to do with my students was always to play Little Einsteins. And they would always laugh at me because they were big kids, but it was a great way to break down music and to allow students to listen for when music would speed up or slow down, or when there was a pause or a break, or when they would take a breath versus when they would play loudly, play softly, etc. It's always fun to watch a portion of an opera and discuss the history of operas. A lot of students think it's just very, very high or very, very low singing, and they don't actually know what an opera is, or that an opera is a beautiful story. Um, Also, I want to highlight the idea to create a musical mind map. This is really neat where students can listen to music and then they can draw an image in the middle that says music and then branch out from there, either with various genres of music or maybe artists, and then songs that the artists have written or sung, or with those particular genres of music, break it down to artists that perform in those genres, and subsequent areas from there, and just allow that mind map to grow and grow and grow. And finally, I wanted to highlight the option of the various musical apps within the Chrome Music Lab. There are a lot of really great apps in the Chrome Music Lab. If you haven't explored it, I highly encourage you to do it. I wish you a very blessed World Art Day and hope that you celebrate in your own special way. Have a great day.